Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Hyrule Chronicles. I am Articulate T, the Dungeon Master, and with me, as always, I have Renji Vox, being played by the lad.
Good evening.
I have Hikan Sio, being played by Avrdal.
I'm awake on time this time.
I have Zayden Shari, being played by Road Pirate.
I was considering a nap.
And I have Max, being played by Keistrith.
Oh, nap. I've got plots to do.
Yeah. So what happened?
Character arcs to complete.
What happened last time, everybody?
So I have prepared a recap for it. I just need to get it.
Okay.
But last time we met our heroes, the Storm's Eye wakes up in Goron City, and they head down into the Death Mountain mines. The workers at the Iron Veins Mining Corporation help them with unblocking a tunnel, and they set out with an intrepid guide Chu that helps them get through abandoned mine shafts before finding themselves at a crossroads. There, Renji heads on first, scouting ahead whilst invisible. As he heads into some of the tunnels in front of them, he finds several creatures that look to be incomplete, or rather imperfect attempts at fusing creatures with humanoids. Failed experiments of Torquin, it seems. In another niche just off of one tunnel, they also find a pair of Sheikah warriors, flash frozen somehow, as if caught in a dragon's breath. Going further in, they encounter more of these failed experiments, and after a short fight, the Storm's Eye find themselves at what seems like a dumping ground for Torquin. There's an opening up to the surface, and there they see it. Torquin's Tower.
Okay. So, as said, you emerge from the pit, stepping out into the cold, frigid air of this surprising snowfall just south of Death Mountain. It's not as cold as it was when you set foot towards Snowhead, but it's getting there. And you can all quite clearly see through the snowfall this this spire that looks like it does not belong with the rest of the rocks of the mountain range, but the view of it is fading rather quickly. It looks like it'll take you a couple of minutes on foot to get there, with the rough terrain that you have before you.
We've kind of climbed out of a hole. Is that like sheltered in any way?
No. But
No?
there are,
Okay.
but with your passive survival, you can have a look around and see that there are a couple of outcroppings that shelter you from the snow at the very least. They're not like proper caves, but they'll do.
Okay. I glance over at the tower. Does anyone need some rest? Or do we march on?
We can take a minute and get a plan going with the tower, because Khan's kind of mostly looking at Max. As we haven't been in there and don't know what to expect.
Do you have any active memories, Max, about this place?
I only remember a few floors.
Better
That's-
than nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly just the cells.
You want to take a couple minutes and go over it? If not, we can get going. Khan kind of stretches.
There's not really much to go over.
Okay.
How do you want to approach this?
I'll go quiet. We want to be loud. We're really good at being loud.
Yeah, we can be loud. But maybe we can stave off the loudness till we have to.
Okay.
I can try and scout ahead if you want to.
Let's at least get up to it.
Sorry, I
Okay.
didn't catch that.
Let's at least get up to it.
All right. And in that case, I would like to. I would like to use a spell slot to go invisible,
Okay.
and then I am gonna try and sneak my way towards the tower, slowly but steadily.
Okay.
Are there any windows in the tower?
Oddly enough, from where you can see it, no.
Max does not look surprised.
Okay.
Okay, so you
I
are
think we head towards the tower.
okay. How far ahead of your group do you go, Renji?
I try and keep about at least 30 feet between myself and the group.
Okay.
And like if they're going at a quick pace, I do want to stay a little bit further.
Okay. Give me a stealth check.
Here goes. 25.
Okay. Okay. So as you're progressing along this kind of naturally formed path from the pit, and get closer and closer to this tower, you can feel the weather getting progressively worse. Eventually, the snowfall obscures even the finer details of the tower, despite how close you are now getting. But Renji, you see this first, and the others eventually do see it as they're kind of moving down the path. On a nearby rocky rise, roughly 20 feet above the path, you can see what seems to be a figure standing in the snow. He stands stoically to attention. The thick, heavy cloak that he wears, waving lightly in the wind. You can make out a vaguely similar silhouette, which, as you get closer and can peer through the weather a bit, you can see what appears to be another Max. This one having a single streak of white hair going through the rest of the coarse black. He looks apathetic, but he stares directly at the non-invisible group.
Okay. I want to get up close to this Max.
Okay.
And I want to see how he reacts to the oncoming group. So right now he's staring.
Yeah. That depends on what the rest of the group do. It doesn't appear that this duplicate, who you assume to be Maximus, is making any effort to hide.
And Max is making no effort to slow down unless no one stops him.
Basically, what I want to do, like to preempt anything, is if Maximus is attempting to do any sort of magic or any sort of aggressive action, I want to grapple him and push him to the ground.
Okay. You get about 10-15 feet close to him, because you have to kind of like clamber up uneven ground to get to him. Before he opens his mouth and says, "You are trespassing on the territory of Torquin. This is your only warning."
I get the sense that he says that because I'm getting closer or because the group is getting closer.
Make an insight check.
Okay.
And while you're at it, make an investigation check.
That's a 10 and a 15.
Okay. So, you kind of like, as he opens his mouth and speaks, you preemptively stop. It doesn't appear that he seems to, from what it looks like, doesn't seem to have noticed you and may be addressing the group. The weird thing about it is that he seems to be saying it in a kind of scripted robotic fashion, much to match his expression. And in fact, one thing that you do notice as well, I will say with your passive perception, it being a 20, unlike your Max, or even Maximilian, or Maxwell rather, there are 2 dots on his forehead, just above his eyebrows, equidistant apart.
What color are they?
They're kind of a dull-ish shade of his normal skin tone. Make a medicine check.
As long as we're rolling. 14.
How much with a 14? How much would you say of Renji knowing about what a lobotomy is?
Oh. Honestly, I don't. I think Renji might have read on it once.
A kind of crude sort of chirurgeon sort of medicines that are either out of practice or on their way out of practice sort of thing.
About how far away is the rest of the group at this point?
You are probably more akin to being, just need to measure something. You're about 50 foot away.
And this is considered difficult terrain?
Yes.
Okay. Hikan will interpose himself somewhat between the group and Maxwell, this one is?
This one's
No,
Maximus.
Maximus. This
Yeah.
one's Maximus. Too many dang.
We have Max Prime, and we have Maxwell at home.
Torquin,
Just
brilliant
say,
scientist,
Maxwell
terrible at
names.
names.
Yeah.
But
Also bear in mind that we came up with Maxwell
yes.
just to differentiate him from me.
Yeah.
But I will interpose myself between them, and generally speaking, I'm going to be heading straight for Maximus.
Okay.
I have settled. Hikan has settled where this is going. He is prepared for whatever's going on. Whatever the rest of them do, if they decide to try to go on, well, hopefully Renji's over there.
I would wave, but it would defeat the purpose.
But yeah, no, I am prepared to stall for time at worst. But
Are
I don't
we
think
able
that they'll
to
let me do
see
that.
him
Max
in this
will
light now?
simply say back to him, "I'm surprised we're not expected."
The Maximus kind of just slowly adjusts where he's looking and says, "If you do not leave, I will be forced to kill you."
It seems we're at a impasse. Max says, briefly unsure of the word.
If you insist. And he begins to slowly raise a hand.
That I try and I try to jump him.
Okay. I'm going to save you the trouble of a grapple check. Because your investigation check was not high enough. You
Oh no.
surge forwards. As it's an attack, your invisibility shrinks away, but you kind of stumble a bit as you step through what appears to be an illusion. And you're just in time to see behind the hill is another Maximus who has a hand raised to you, and I would like you to make a strength saving throw, please.
Oh, it's my worst one. How do you
Everyone's worst one.
know? But it's my natural 20.
That's okay. You take 6 points of cold damage as the force of a chilling gale tries to force you back off the rock, but you manage to keep your footing. And with that, I would like everybody, when I get the map ready and stuff, to roll for me their initiative. I need to adjust how it goes on Ultimate here because it's being weird.
Ooh.
What is it?
Ooh.
Finding boss music for Maximus was harder than I expected it to be.
Mood. Freaking mood.
Wow, the visibility is really low here.
Yeah, because that dang snow.
Oh yeah.
And you snow.
Okay. Descending. Let's go before NPCs. So, Renji,
Yes.
you currently have an elevation of about 5 feet, but you are a little bit away from Maximus here. What would you like to do on your turn?
First of all, I'm going to put the volume of the music down just a little bit.
It is a bit loud. I
And,
should probably do the same.
No worries, no worries. I've changed it on my end.
I
least.
need to for the sake of the recording, I guess.
Ah, yes, that's fair. So what I'm going to do is I am going to grab the hilt of aspiration from my belt, and as I step forward, use a bonus action to ignite, and I'm going to attack twice.
Okay.
That's a 15 to hit.
Okay. With that, he's going to utilize his reaction. Does he have? He doesn't actually have shield. Never mind. So okay, you hit with that.
Awesome. And I will use my sneak attack damage on this one, because I'm dueling. That is 8 points of radiant damage and 12 points of sneak attack damage.
So a total of
For
20.
20
Yep.
on my first attack, and my second attack is a 13.
That is a miss.
That is a miss. Okay, good to know. Well, that is my turn.
Okay. Hikan.
So we could see the illusion of Maximus from where we were at, right?
Yeah. It kind of like
And then
zapped out of existence when Renji manifested there, and then he was hit with a very hard gust of wind. That's what you've seen, but you can't see
Also-
Maximus himself.
Renji the invisible, so we saw where he went.
Yeah.
which direction did or where was Renji? Because I cannot see Renji currently.
This way.
Okay. I have 55 feet of movement. Is that rounded down to 25 or rounded to 30?
Rounded
Since
to
this is difficult
Yeah.
terrain.
30.
Okay. So I'm going to use my movement because I can't see thing. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. Okay. Now I can see them.
Mara.
No worries. Excellent. I'm going to spend a key point for Step of the Wind. Because I do no good if I'm not in your range. You get a dash action as a bonus action. And that is another 25 feet of movement. So I will, in a blur of motion through really high steps through thick snow that looks kind of goofy, I will appear behind Maximus. And, yeah, I'm just gonna start punching him. It's like, I don't really have much to say to this person. So, 1 strike.
Okay.
26 for 9.
That hits,
One
and
punch.
he's going to use his reaction that he does have. As you strike forward, he looks behind himself, and in a flash of frost and ice, vanishes. And as your fist makes contact with the cloud, a rushing sensation of cold runs up your arm. I'd like you to make for me a Constitution saving throw, please.
Okay. 14, so that's a failure. I am
Restrained until the end of your next turn.
Ooh.
And he teleports 30 feet over here.
40.
Does he still take damage?
Yes.
When he is hit.
Neat.
He had
So
to
he takes
do it.
that 9, takes an additional 5, and he's poisoned until the end of my next turn.
Nice.
Eh.
Okay.
Also, GM for the Theater of the Mind stuff. What direction is the tower?
Theater of the Mind stuff. In this instance, the tower is actually to the. It's. Try and remember my cardinal directions. To the right. So on this map, the
East.
closest person to the to the east. So the closest person on this map to the tower is Hikan.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. And then I'm restrained, so I have no more movement. That was my. Well, it's half of my action. And I can't reach Renji, so. That's turn.
Okay. Zayden.
First thing Zayden's going to do. This wasn't why I took the spell today, because I was expecting to eat, but this will work. I'll use Fire Shield.
Okay.
No points for guessing which flavour.
Gold.
Cold never bothered him anyway.
I have a lovely warm shield. Then Zayden will begin to warp and expand, his skin turning pale and beginning to fade away, as I will turn into an air elemental.
Okay.
Nice.
And then I'm just gonna go. See, let's leave a little space for Max. Gonna just to crowd him a bit here.
Okay. Grand. All right. And then it is his go.